Okay, so it's been almost a month with no video. I've got a haircut. I have a mullet now, which is quite nice. Not much else apart from that. I'm trying to make it so that, because it's related to the subject, but like, obviously, I've said it a million times on here. I'm trying to like hide my small chest because it keeps forming like a small fold in my t-shirt, and like, I don't know, I think I've gotten used to like trying to like straighten things out and make it look like they're not there, because I tend to go out. I'm always conscious of that because I like the fact that I've got them. They're great, but other people have looked at me weird, so I'm just like, I'll just leave it. Camera's on now. I can't change anything too much, So yeah, I met up with Mint last month, and we had a very, very good time. Camped under the stars and under a blanket, and we just looked at the stars and that. We had to share a blanket because I couldn't bring another one. I've only got one, and Mint couldn't bring his tent down because of luggage restrictions and that. So we're like sleeping under this blanket on this tarp on the ground, listening to like Amos and Andy, right? And what happened was it got really cold. Like, apparently it was like 6 degrees or something, but it felt like 2. And we woke up shaking, like, oh god, it's so cold. So we got up at like 3 a.m. and we just like walked back into town and like sat on a bench for several hours talking. I know we spoke a lot, like, sorry, my voice. I keep getting ill. I don't know why, but I think it's just where I'm living right now. But like, I'm feeling a lot better though. I'm doing a lot better. We spoke about a lot of things, including a lot of stuff to do with Denpa, and a lot of philosophy and politics and friendship as well. I won't go into it all because it would take far too long, and a lot of our conversations are something that I want to keep, private, because, I wouldn't, say everything out loud. But one thing that really stuck with me about those 2 days where we hung out was how close it was. Like, yeah, I've spoken with Mint. I've discussed Denpa shit with Mint. Ignore that. Ignore the pile of flannel shirts. I've spoken about all sorts of things with Mint. Hiking, exploring, camping, stuff like that. but to do it in person and to, like, you know, interact with him and get his comments on the world around us just on the fly was incredible. Like, that was great. I loved every second of it. Sorry, my posture's horrible. Like, maybe I should stand up straight. But I have to stoop down because my microphone's right fucking here. And I'm just awkward anyway. Blue High. She's pink and she's actually kind of grimy. Needs a wash, needs a bath. But no, yeah, like, it's weird because, I mean, I wouldn't consider myself to be a shining sorry. I wouldn't consider myself to be a shining example of what Denpa is. But I know. I relate to the label and, like, I think Mint put it best on the, like, secret egregore that the Neo-Denpers share. He said something along the lines of, like, you guys should go and touch grass or something. Like, I don't know, like, to me it seems as though this headspace of being in your room, in your four walls, I think it's sort of this wet blanket for a lot of people who tend to be very eccentric. It's like nobody can judge me or hurt me, etc. if I'm in my four walls. You know, and I can indulge in my interests however long I like. Stuff like that. But how do you even put it? Like, the strange world doesn't just exist here. It can exist with other people as well. Like, I experienced it with Mint. I like, how do I even describe it? It didn't feel real, but in a good way. It felt surreal. Felt like I was in a dream, you know. Like, and Mint's like slightly shorter than me, which I didn't expect. You know, and like he had dimension, you know. And when I hugged him, like, it's like, whoa, you're like, you have like weight and form, you know, like. And he said the same without me. He sort of like, we were like waiting for the train, and he just sort of like looked at me, sidestepped a little bit, looked around at my back, and was like, oh, you've got a back, you know, you've got a pair of legs. It's like, you know what they look like in the flesh, and it's still so surreal. Min also like came down to my hometown where I am, and I showed him around, and I was like, this is crazy, you know, like the places I go every day, he's now here. I'm not just talking about them, I'm actually like showing him around, and that's great. That felt amazing. I think, I don't know, like, having friends like that, not just like on the internet where you're just like shooting the shit or whatever on via text or weird abstract videos or stuff like that. Like, having, you know, interactions in the meat space is really healthy and nourishing. So it lets you know, like, truly that you are not alone, and that there are people who want to be around you as a human being. You know, it's like, how do you put it? I saw like a bit of the video. I'm gonna have to go and check. But like the video where like Osaka Syndrome and No Thank You are like in the same house, you know, with Dotes Might, and it's like you can tell there's this like energy, there's this like there's this sense of awe being around another human being like you. And I think that would be really helpful for other Denpers. Like, I know that Normans are hard to deal with, and like, you don't, maybe being in real life is like anxiety inducing, but like, sorry, my throat is also very dry because I haven't drank anything today, so I'm stupid, no brain. But no, like, if you can find like a Denver person who like lives in the same country as you, and you just have a free day, and you have like just, you know, you don't even have to do anything. Like, me and Mint didn't really do anything apart from walk around, maybe eat some food, and talk. That's all we did. And we explored places as well. Like, you don't have to do anything. Like, there's no obligation to like partake in any kind of activity. Being within somebody else's company is enough. I think a lot of like Denver-like people can really benefit from that. Like, if you know someone where, you know, if you meet them on the internet and you get the chance to just see them for like one day, for like a handful of hours, take it, because it'll probably improve your view of life a lot. I learned more in those 24 hours than, well, I say 2 days, 24 hours, it took place over 2 days. But like, overall, I was in his company for 24 hours straight. And then for a little bit more than that when he came to my hometown. But yeah, that really changed the way I look at life. I don't know what to say, really. Just a minute. So, I'm back. I have a mug full of milk to wet my whistle, basically. So, getting to the part I was talking about at the beginning, what is it like to be a non-binary trans person / androgyne, if I'm using like the antiquated term? I mean, I've spoken about this before, but I feel the need to address it explicitly and to talk about my everyday experience. Especially like when I've met up with men. Like now, I don't know, it was weird, like, he said something along the lines of, like, after he'd met me, right? It's like, if you had been born AFAB and you were on testosterone, then I wouldn't be able to tell the difference. And that was interesting to me, because, I've had similar comments to that, like, I've had people ask if I'm trans mask before, when I've just had like a little bit of shadow on my top lip. I get people like either like staring at me, or like they do the like the weird double take thing, where it's like when you look at something, you don't quite recognise it, and then you look at it again. I've had like people ask me, like what's between your legs, like casually. No, like what the fuck do you need to know that for? Like, I think the worst interaction I had was when I'd go to this pub to meet up with this like relatively cool guy who used to be like this music producer or something in Portsmouth or something or other. Like, he was cool, and I met him outside of my GP office, you know, and I wanted to get to know him because he was a really cool guy. And this old dude basically like came, started talking, and he, you know, I came out, yeah, I'm kind of trans, like, you know, blah blah, being open, and he just like propositioned me for like, how do I put this sensitively? So you know what you do with ice cream? Like a popsicle? Yeah, like that for 20 quid round the back of the pub. And I couldn't believe it for a second. Like, I was like, what? Like, I can't believe you'd ask that for one thing. Like, but that's not what I said though. Like, I said no. I just, very like glib no. Like, or would it be like glib or curt? I don't know. I would say like, my response was rather curt. It was no thank you. But considering the situation, that was warranted. I don't know, like, living day-to-day life is weird, because usually, if I don't want there to be any, like, weirdness, I, like, grow a little bit of stubble on my face, and then people, like, know that I'm, like, a certain role in society. Like, I'm not this in-between thing. But then when I shave and maybe I put on foundation or whatever, maybe a small bit of a concealer and foundation, and I wear like more femme clothes, it's weird. It makes people look at me weird. Even when I've got like a tiny bit of stubble and they see like the small breasts, like they get weirded out. They're like, what the fuck? Like, I don't get gendered sometimes, which I don't mind, because, you know, I don't feel like I fall into either camp. I mean, I've got wide shoulders. My hips are also, like, quite round. I'm not jacked by any means. I don't know. This video seems very strange to me to make. Usually, the first thing that puts people off is either like the weird like androgynous vibe I give off, or it's my voice. Because like sometimes when I've got stubble going, because I don't want to like have that interaction, and I talk, people, you know, it makes them react. But I don't know, like, I want to stop wearing stubble to avoid those things. I kind of want to face them head on. Because I'm not going to live forever, and I think as long as I live in a way where I'm afraid, where I'm fundamentally restricted, then I'm not really being myself. I'm just kind of performing for other people, and that's some very cowardly thing to do, in my opinion. Like, I've already been beaten up, obviously, but I like half burped, half spoke then, sorry about that. But yeah, like, I don't really mind people being mean, as long as I can just, you know, be open. Blue high will save me, hopefully. Like, I know. Nah, I don't think I'd go into that analogy. Like, you ever have like a thought where you're like, wow, this would be a really good bit. Like, I can really be comedic with this, and then like you realise that actually no, that's not very funny. That just kind of happened for no reason. I don't know what I'm talking about. This is all jumbled up, and I'll probably like make a video that's a little bit more clear on the trans stuff, even though it's supposed to be this video. And I don't know, maybe I should make illustrations or something. I don't really feel old, even though I'm getting on a bit. Do you know what I mean? Like, I mean, Mint told me that in person I can be quite whimsical, and I suppose that's true. Like, I don't really take a lot of things all that seriously anymore. Because there's no point in taking it so seriously. Because all you do is like tire yourself out and stress yourself out, but you may as well just go with the flow. I don't know. And I'm getting like major deja vu recording this. Like, I feel like this has happened before. I mean, it has, but I feel like this exact recording has happened before, which is crazy. A mess as always, I guess. I hope you've enjoyed it though.